Start? Okay. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. I'm George. I'm George Mink. I'm a COVID outreach coordinator. Tonight we're doing a special edition of Keeping It 100. We're doing our Barbershop Talk. We're just going to do segments throughout the community to talk to brothers and just get back in tune with what's wrong and fixing some of the problems that we can just work on. Tonight we're at the lineup in Yaden, and good brother here, Kyle. He's a co-owner here, and we're basically, like I said, we're just basically doing a barbershop tour, getting real talk with brothers in the communities, trying to uplift brothers about their health and wellness, and just sponsored by Dr. Motley. Like, we just going to send a crusade back through the community so we can start trying to rebuild. Tonight I'm going to bring on one of my guests. We got Kyle. He's the co-owner of the lineup in Yaden. Tell him a little something about yourself, Kyle.
How you doing? Kyle Brown, licensed professional barbershop owner. We've been here for about 18 years, and in September it'll be 19. But I got a nonprofit. It's called Barber Love. We've been in operation since 2013. Yeah, so we do a lot of give backs to the community. Back to school haircuts. We did a couple of back to school events when the school opened back up. But other than that, we try to do whatever we can do for the community.
Okay, Doc.
Yeah, I'm Dr. Bill King. I'm a local pediatrician here in the Philadelphia area. Have been in practice 25 years plus. Was trained at a children's hospital, back in the 90s, and did a lot of youth violence reduction at that point. But now COVID is the epidemic. So violence is, we call that endemic, always here.
Wow.
But COVID is the pandemic, meaning
Right.
It's not just an epidemic, it's an everywhere epidemic. So we have not seen one of those in the world in 100 years. And so when people say, is it over? That's like asking, is a worldwide hurricane over? Maybe not yet.
Right.
So I'm the vice president of the Medical Society Eastern Pennsylvania. That is the Philadelphia area affiliate of the National Medical Association. The National Medical Association is the Association of African American Physicians who were excluded from the American Medical Association, the White Doctors Association, in 1895, and we've been affiliated about the same amount of time as the NAACP and the Urban League and sororities, fraternities. The National Medical Association is blackdoctorsphiladelphia.com, and we've been talking COVID awareness, COVID preparation, COVID prevention, COVID vaccination, COVID treatment, whatever you need to make it through.
Okay, yeah. I mean, right now, what we doing basically, fellas, is we just bringing some awareness, centered around COVID and basically centered around the vaccination. Of course, we all know there's been some hesitancy in our communities with brothers and sisters if we should get the shot or not. I was actually one of those brothers who weighed it and wasn't aware of, just the behind the scenes situation of it, and I ended up getting vaccinated on a crazy situation with a family member that passed away from it and really didn't believe in it. So once she passed away, it just took my heart, and it made me feel like this was something I had to do for my community. So, I mean, that's pretty much where I'm at with the vaccination, and I'm just trying to get it out, to brothers, and it's coming from another brother. So it's not coming from nowhere else. It's coming from a brother just like you. It's coming from a sister just like you. She's a doctor. She's steering this whole deal. So, I mean, that's just basically where we at, and we just gonna go on tour with some good brothers who know, like the right thing to do, and this is for our community. This is something we can do for our community. So it's just a basic conversation, fellas, not too formal. I'm gonna open it up with you, Kyle. It's been a year and a half since the vaccines have been available. Do you like, in your opinion, why do you think brothers is not vaccinated yet, or brothers still on the bubble?
Well, to me personally, I know a lot of people that have been vaccinated. People might put a spin on like everybody's not getting vaccinated. I know a lot of people that got vaccinated.
Wow.
I actually know more people that got vaccinated that didn't get vaccinated.
Really?
Yeah. So I don't really think it was a big issue. I mean, as far as like, I guess it just depends on like who you be around. I guess. I know for me personally, I got the vaccine, and my whole family got the vaccine. So
Right.
it's like actually everybody at this barbershop, everybody that work here got the vaccine.
Nice.
So it's like kind of like one line peer pressure. Then you come here, it's like you ask me if we got a vaccine, they got the vaccine. So I mean it helps, but I think this is to the point where people aren't so scared of it.
Right.
Like once they seen like the dying slow down, I think people kind of like was like, all right, I guess I ain't gonna die from it or whatever. But I mean, from what I hear, I don't know. I don't know all the facts. You know,
Right.
I don't try to claim all the facts. But from what I hear, is most of the people that die they don't be vaccinated. You know what I'm saying? That's like one of the higher percentages. I don't know how true that is, but I mean.
Well, we got doctors in the
So
building.
we're going to ask them today.
So, Doc, take it on.
If that's true or not.
Right, take it from there, Doc.
I don't know.
So, Doc, we could start with that.
Yeah,
and then,
Is that a true thing? Like,
does the vaccine prevent
mortality?
death?
Yeah.
Mortality?
Yeah.
The vaccine prevents mortality at about the same level that a bulletproof vest prevents mortality.
wow.
So it's about 10 to 20-fold less chance. So, but just like a bulletproof vest, obviously you can get hit in the underarm,
definitely.
you can get hit in the head.
Yeah.
You know, your vest wasn't there. So there is a 1 in 20 group of people who are where the vaccine did not protect them and they still died. Now, what's even more true though, now more people, there are a larger and larger number of people who are dying who have been vaccinated. That mainly has to do with people's vaccines wearing off.
Wow.
Or their immunity weakening. So so Colin Powell, right? He's the example. He was vaccinated early in the pandemic, back with Trump and the other presidents, right at the beginning when most people couldn't get the vaccine. But 6 to 7, 8 months later, when he was being treated for cancer, that chemotherapy wiped out that immunity. And so your immune system, is a living trained army. And so if you have diabetes treatment, if you have chemotherapy, if you have medication for a transplant that suppresses your immune system, cancer, things like that, your immune system is wiped out, just the same way that, if you trained up all the soldiers and then you wipe them out, you have to retrain new soldiers.
Right.
So the vaccination is specific, but the immunity, if the immune system is entirely wiped out, you are back to zero. We have to revaccinate. So there are a lot of people where their defenses have weakened. And mainly age. What's the main risk factor? The older you are, the more vulnerable we are to COVID.
Wow.
Whether we're vaccinated or unvaccinated. And so I kind of explain that COVID is like a hurricane or a tornado. So the older the house, the more rickety the house, the more likely it's gonna.
Right.
It needs the defense to protect it, and that it won't just hold up by itself. Because people say, "Oh, I'm strong. I've never been sick." If you're old, your immune system is not. Your immune system is old.
Right.
So it's kind of like being an old cop. You might know a lot, but you can't move as quick. You can't respond as quick. So with my dad, he's in his mid 80s. Of course, he's fully vaccinated, but he needed to get the boost because his immune system, it may have gotten the initial defense, but it has to be, the immune system has a memory, and actually, without being reboosted, especially the old immune system, it forgets how to fight, and so That's why we need all vaccines. We give 1, 2, or 3. There's no vaccine that we give one shot and you're fully immune.
Right.
It's kind of like being trained, a military drill or being trained preseason. Your immune system is kind of like an army or a sports team. It has to go through the initial basic training. That's when the first vaccine is given. And then it gets a refresher course. It's kind of like the preseason. And then usually, 3 months later, 6 months later, and COVID's vaccine is 6 months later, it needs a full drill again.
Right.
So that's the fact is though, when your immune system has gotten its vaccine and been boosted, the chance of death is really 20-fold less.
Nice.
Like I said, like a bulletproof vest or like a seatbelt. It's about that different.
Right. So with that being said, Doc, as far as the booster, what would you say to folks that's not vaccinated at this point? Now, the numbers is going up. Things is basically back, not to 2019, but we pretty much can do what we want to do right now without too many restrictions.
Right.
So to the brothers that's not, because I was one of the brothers that wasn't, but I am now, so I feel comfortable. But I'm also boosted as well.
Yeah.
So I want to keep my defense against this thing because it's here to stay. So, in your mind, what would you say to brothers that's not vaccinated or just people in general?
Well, I say COVID gets a vote too. COVID is not the same COVID. We are at Omicron. Omicron is what, the 15th Greek letter?
Right. Okay.
The original COVID we call. I call OG COVID.
Okay.
It's the original COVID.
Right.
But OG COVID is not circulated.
Wow.
In 2 years, it was replaced by Alpha. We didn't even hear about Alpha because we didn't even have letters yet because it just took over and took the spot. It's kind of like my family is from Newark. I have cousins in Detroit,
Okay.
Oakland. So I know a little. I was not involved in gang stuff, but I know a little bit about that. But the fact is, the OG gang, that doesn't mean the new gang's not coming in. So COVID is not the same COVID.
Wow.
It adapts. It adapted. So Omicron, remember it was in March of 2020. That was the original one. No one had any defense. It killed who it wanted. Nobody had seen it. Nobody knew anything. By the summer, it had actually mutated already, and it was another variant that we now call Alpha that was caused a big wave. And then remember that summer, it was over, and we were like, oh man, I think we good. Everybody's safe. Maybe we'll get through this. Yeah. But within a year, it was changing again. We got the vaccine. Remember, it took 9 months, 10 months.
Last summer, yeah.
9, 10 months. But then we thought after most people had gotten vaccinated, we were all good. Delta.
Right.
So what COVID did as it mutates, every time it infects somebody, it gets to roll the dice. It gets to play play a new hand of cards and say, okay, let me try some new tricks. So let me see it start. So basically, every time it infects someone, it gets to shuffle its genetics, and that's basically playing cards.
Wow.
So what it's trying to do is it's saying, okay, let me get a infectiveness card. So Delta was much more infectious, twice as infectious, 5 times as infectious. So instead of infecting like a cold, it was infecting like chickenpox.
Wow.
So meaning, so with Delta, you can catch it from with the original COVID.
Right.
It really had to be almost cough to get enough of it to infect somebody. Mm-hmm. By the time it had made some mutations, if you breathe with Delta, if somebody with COVID breathes out, if you breathe in closer than 6 feet, you had it.
Wow.
So Delta was a whole different
That's crazy.
gangster.
So my question is, my understanding is so every time it mutates, it gets weaker. That's what it seemed like.
No. So
from the outside looking in.
So now, no, let's talk
Like
about that.
when Omarion
No,
came
right.
out.
No, Omicron.
I know.
So
I'm
no,
just
no,
saying,
that's
what
right.
everybody
Right, we call him Omarion. That's the nickname.
Omarion, right.
Everybody calls it the Omarion.
Right.
Everybody
Right.
get the Omarion because it's just you can get it by the touch.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But it ain't. But it's not as lethal as
Right.
the other ones.
No. So every mutate, it's random. It's playing cards like we play cards. It doesn't get to pick its best cards.
Right.
So it shuffles. So Omicron, it's not more deadly. It's more contagious.
Wow.
So it's actually it is
more
less
contagious.
lethal.
Yeah.
So, but the thing is, it's like it's not a 45 caliber, but it's more 22s.
Wow.
So you got to ask yourself.
I got that
in
point.
America right now is Omicron still.
Yeah.
That's the
So
one that's
Omicron,
got
and now also almost everybody has caught COVID by now.
Yeah.
If you have not been vaccinated, you
I
have
think
caught.
I got it before we shut down.
Yeah, I think so too.
I was cutting this kid, right? He was the first kid. He had a mask on and everything. And his mom was like, I was like, man, don't worry about that mask. Take that. This was before mask came out.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
boy, you cool. So I'm cutting his hair. He coughed, and I swear he coughed right up my nose. I could feel like the wind on my nose inside on.
Like,
So
I'm hit.
going
I'm hit.
in.
He coughed in that bad boy, and then like the next week, man, my
I'm going
throat.
down.
I was down
Now,
bad.
did you have achy breaky heart? Did you feel like that crush that like somebody beat you
Not
down?
necessarily. It was most like my
Itchy
throat was
throat.
like real super sore.
How about the
And
fatigue?
my cough was.
How about
like,
the fatigue?
I was
Like
tired, yeah.
worn out.
yeah,
like
definitely was
I
tired.
feel like I'd like to sleep for 5.
Yeah, I was tired.
That was COVID.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that. You can go. I don't think they had testing.
We tell him all the time. We still tell him he's the original
Yeah,
COVID
he's the
person.
ori-
He
yeah.
bring it to America. We tell this little kid he ain't never been nowhere.
Oh wow.
You bring it here, brother.
If it was after March 2020, it was COVID. COVID was already everywhere.
This might have been. This might have been in like December. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that before
It
like
even.
3 months before there.
You mean COVID-19 in 2019?
Yeah.
Or 2020?
Before they shut everything down.
So we're saying December, and that's when
Before anybody was even talking about COVID, like it wasn't even like
Yeah, so we
it
could
wasn't
get
even a word.
We could get into that. I'll point you. I can point you to some websites and stuff. We think COVID probably got to America by January. We think there's a possibility. Now it blew up in China was losing hold of it between November 2019. Because remember, it's called COVID-19 because we identified it 2019.
Right.
We think it was only from October, November, December. They were losing control of it in China. They didn't know yet. They hadn't told anybody else in the world, and we weren't even aware. By January, CDC and other government was aware, and they were trying to figure out what is up with this new thing. And by February, the U.S. government was fully aware and was aware that it was coming into the U.S. But we don't know. We don't know. We know it was. So that was right in that zone where we still wonder about those late 2019, early 2020. But remember, COVID. When you're brand new,
It came out in Montgomery County. That's all I remember. That's what that was.
No, I mean when Michael Jordan starts,
Montgomery County.
When Michael Jordan starts sky dunking, or when Kareem Abdul-Jabbar does the sky hook, you have no defense yet.
Right.
The next year you might be able to play against him.
Right.
But he gets a whole bunch of free shots.
Yeah, he get a free season in.
And that's how COVID rolled.
Yeah.
It had a full free season.
Yeah,
Nobody
they
had
beat
any
us up.
defense.
It beat us up pretty good.
Yeah.
That was terrible.
By
Yeah.
20 now everybody says, oh, the vaccine is so new. The vaccine was so now when the vaccine came out in January 2021, it took almost a year to get it up and running. But when it came out in January, I didn't get it then, even though I could have pulled some strings.
Right.
Because for something to be safe medically, we need to see when they do a study, it's only about 50,000 people. That's not enough people to identify a rare but
Glad
real
you
problem.
said that too, Doc. Go ahead.
So when a study, if you ever are going to participate in a study, don't do it with those first 50,000. Don't take the drug,
Right.
Because we don't know yet.
Wow.
Because it's just a matter of numbers. You can't really find some rare things don't happen. They happen about 1 per 100,000 to 1 per million.
Wow.
So a machine breaking, so if you've only built 50,000 cars, you don't know yet how they're gonna break.
Right.
If you've built 50,000 radios, you don't know yet how they're gonna break. If you've only flown 50,000 flights, you don't know if that plane's safe yet. You need between 100,000 and 1 million. We call that 6 Sigma.
Wow.
So in medicine, we don't ourselves. We don't do nothing. We don't take nothing until we've seen 100,000
Right,
to 1
'cause the
million.
doc
Like
did
I
the
don't give
same
stuff to
thing.
my patients
Right.
until I've seen 100,000 to 1 million. So I let Children's Hospital,
Right.
give those vaccines.
That's
and
funny, though. That's
So-
funny because I swear that is the number I came up with. I said, because they used to have a ticker on the news. They used to have like, this many people got COVID shots. This many people. I said, all right, when that joint gets to 100,000,
That's when it.
if the news don't
Now-
go crazy saying a whole bunch of people
No,
died,
right.
I'm gonna go ahead and knock that.
No, that's
take
right.
it. But
Right.
So you notice that's right. And then,
Right.
but really, that's
crazy.
still so even 100,000. You really gotta be. The military will do stuff with 100,000, meaning they'll send soldiers out if the plane's only flown 100,000. That's because they're willing to lose one plane.
Wow.
They're
Wow.
willing to lose to have some
Wow.
deaths.
That's the hard
Because
fact.
the thing is, when you sign up for the military, and now some doctors, we took many doctors, emergency room docs and stuff, they took the shots at 100,000 because again, the chance that they're going to take a straight bullet and die is higher than 100,000.
Right. Right.
So they would rather put on a not perfect bulletproof vest than take a really solid bullet. So,
Wow.
but civilians, we don't roll out stuff to civilians until it's hit 1 million. And really, where you really want to wait is until 10 million.
Wow.
somebody
So
got
when-
close DNA to you by that time.
Right.
Yeah, no. So by 10
That's
million.
what I
so-
was figuring.
So
Dang.
when that's right though. But the thing about COVID, people got to understand is there were tens of millions of doses already within 3 or 4 months
Right.
because they rolled it out to so many people. There's some vaccines that we give children that we've barely given 10 million kids the vaccine yet because there's not that many kids. There's
Right.
only 1 million kids, come a year, so it takes 10 years to get to 10 million.
I thought it would be more kids than that.
Well, it's 3 million kids, but in terms of how many kids need a certain vaccine, it's only
wow.
it's only about 1 out of.
Okay, this is good stuff.
Yeah. So my point though is that the safety, not in the public, because see with the public, how you know what's safe, but
Right.
when you're looking at safety for a vaccine, it should be safe like aviation, or military equipment.
Right.
Which means, for a machine gun to be safe, you should be able to shoot 1 million bullets before it blows up in your face. For planes, you should be having 1 million flights. So right now, that's where aviation is. So right now, say if you fly Delta, I'm not talking about Spirit,
Right.
but if you fly
They got the newest
Delta,
planes. They got the newest planes.
they do. And actually, but the thing is, I've flown
They got
Spirit.
bad-
It's
they got
just
bad
roosters
everything
on
else,
there.
but they planes
No,
is
I've
new.
flown, but with so if you're trying to judge, is Spirit a good airline? What you need is 10 million flights because you have to prove not just the plane is good, but the mechanics and the rest of the system's good. So that's why you need 10 million vaccines done.
Right.
Because you need to prove that. Because see when that vaccine first came out, the COVID vaccine is complicated. It was complicated. You had to defrost it. It was on dry ice.
That's what Doc was saying.
You had to get trucks.
It was too much. You had to bougie it. It was like a
but
bougie.
It took Doc's time to be able to do it right when we were
Infrastructure.
first.
Right.
So you don't want to be one of those first few thousand patients where we're like, wait a minute, is this dissolved yet? Is this working yet?
Wow.
So, but see, remember, within 3 months, we were up to speed. We had given
Right.
thousands and thousands and thousands
Right.
of doses. So, like a surgeon, you want a surgeon who's done something thousands of times, not 10 times.
Right.
And so the COVID vaccine, by 6 months, by the summer, we doctors were like, no, this is 10 million, this is 30 million, this is 40 million people have gotten
Right.
it, and we have not seen drop dead. We have not seen severe allergic reactions.
Right.
We have plenty of vaccines where, so when I worked at Temple back in the 90s, there was this vaccine called RotaShield. In at our black private practice, we did not give RotaShield. We were
What was it for, Doc?
It was for an intestinal virus called rotavirus.
Okay.
There's two other rotaviruses. Those vaccines had been given for years to millions of children. We hadn't seen any problems. RotaShield when it first came out, it was only 50,000, but within about 6 months of it being given to the general public, you started seeing cases of bad side effects, these intestinal twisted bowels and stuff.
Right.
But see, our practice, we had never given it. We're gonna wait until
Right.
the big academic hospitals and the other facilities have given those, until we hit 1 million doses given in the United States. Then we roll out a vaccine.
So with all that being said, Doc, you saying that the vaccination is safe
Yeah, and the reason
for
is
our folks, because our
it's safe-
folks
it's
is
safe
really
for everybody. The reason is it's not just the amount of time; it's the amount of people and cases and flights.
Okay.
We're at 200 million doses.
wow.
And we're not seeing people die. We're not seeing bad side effects. And also, we've had a chance to watch 100 million people for a year. So we're not seeing a year later you have kidney disease.
All right.
A year later you have a heart attack. A year later. So we're not seeing these late effects of the COVID vaccine.
Right.
So we think it seems to have about the good safety record that we have with our measles shot that's been around 30 years, or with our tetanus shot that's been around 50 years. We see that same kind of safety: a really sore arm, that fatigue for 24 hours, feeling kind of achy for 24 hours, but that is your immunity kicking in.
Right.
That's my family, my
That
daughter.
messed me up too, because the second time I took it, that joint put me down.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
man,
you know,
I got it. Somebody else was supposed to go because celebrity boy couldn't do it, and then opportunity was gone. Man.
Wow.
Yep.
that's what. Now, but you know, a lot of people
Took
when
the
they
shot.
get
So
that.
I lived though.
No, but remember though, when
you
your
say you
immune
lived,
system
though?
is training up on full training, it's fighting a full war. It's just it's not fighting with live ammunition against a live enemy. So it's like when the military does their training drills. They're doing a full drill. So you feel all that. It mounts the fever. It's your immune system kicking in when you feel that ache. So I just got my second booster. I wasn't going to get it. I said, because I caught COVID before the vaccine came out. That was horrible.
Oh wow.
I can tell you about that. That was, don't catch COVID. catch the vaccine. Don't catch
Right.
COVID.
Heard
COVID
that.
Unvaccinated. Now, a lot of people caught COVID after the vaccine. It's pretty mild.
Oh right. Right.
It's like a flu.
Right.
I don't be worried. I'm not
But
worried. About
unvaccinated, it was. I had the COVID brain fog. I didn't understand English for a week. My wife thought I'd had a stroke.
Oh wow.
I had heart palpitations for 9 months. So I'm hoping my heart was not damaged.
Right.
But I tell people, when you catch COVID, it's like catching a bullet. It doesn't usually kill you, but it's going to leave a mark. It's going to leave a scar. COVID hits wherever, because of the way the virus works, it generates a huge immune reaction. It kind of makes your immune system go crazy. So a lot of the damage is from your immune system kind of going rogue cop. That it's shooting up all over the place. When it's trying to fight COVID, it's like U.S. military shock and awe. It just
Right.
bombed the village, or the Russian invasion. It's just bombing the whole town. So your immune system, as it fights off COVID, it also your organs get damaged. And so when you're having a full battle with COVID, it can be anywhere from 10 to 20 days for your body to fight it fully off.
Wow.
And that whole time, your blood vessels are taking damage. They're taking hits. Now, usually you can repair yourself, but when you catch COVID, if you have a weak blood vessels in your heart, you'll have a heart attack. That's what will kill you. Wow. If you have weak vessels in your brain, it'll be a stroke. if you have weak kidneys, that's my daughter trying to be. I don't know why she thinks she can call me right now. If you have weak vessels in your kidneys, you will tend to die of kidney failure. So COVID, when people die, it isn't always your lungs. It takes you out at your weak point.
Your body, right.
At your weak point. So when you have the vaccine, though, your immune system fights it day one.
Right.
If she doesn't stop.
But yeah, like my brother Pierre said, he brung up this crazy analogy, and I can't get it out of my head. He said the vaccine is like the seatbelt in a car accident. So that's big to me. Like that's major. That's just what it's like. You're still gonna get in a car accident, but the seatbelt basically protects you from being killed or from being thrown out the car.
My daughter, she's
so you good.
That's
Doc?
right. And it's critical to. I'm turning my phone off.
Okay.
She won't stop.
All right. What's up, daughter?
So it's true that the vaccine is the thing. I remind people, the vaccine's not doing something to you. The vaccine is showing your immune system what to fight. Okay. Your own immune system has to fight any infection.
Right.
It's not antibiotics. It's your own immunity. Right. So when we give you a vaccine, we just have to show your immune system
how to
what's
fight
the
it back.
protein that identifies this germ.
Okay. That
So
makes
your
sense.
immune system, it can't just randomly kill anything it sees. It has to say, what does COVID look like?
Wow.
So that your immune system has these killer cells, these natural killer cells, these T cells, but they have to be targeted, and they have to be targeted, and whatever cell they're targeted to, they will destroy. So they have to see it's COVID has the spike. It's the spike protein of COVID. Here's what it looks like. When you see this, target it, kill. Without that targeting, your immune system can't stop anything. So when you catch COVID, your immune system takes 5 days to develop that targeting system and developing those B cells and antibodies so it can target that new virus. So the problem is, for 5 days, the virus gets to shoot at the village with no defense.
Wow.
So there are no soldiers shooting back. The virus is just shooting and attacking every cell it wants to. It goes, and if it gets to your lungs before your immune system starts fighting, you're done.
Wow.
You're done. You don't die day 5. You die day 15. But when you have immunity, when your immune system has seen the spike protein, it fights at the nose. So when you inhale COVID, you already have an antibody. So the antibody is like, hey, that's the spike protein. Activate. So you activate those B cells and T cells, which is like the reserve army, and then you activate the active army. And so the thing is, but the difference is, it's the difference between activating it day 1 or activating it day 5.
Wow.
I'll tell you right now. Let's somebody rob this barbershop. Like,
No.
Or loot. No, or
Hey,
loot.
y'all,
Don't
Wait,
do it.
what's
I
that?
don't-
Hey, Doc.
This is a metaphor. This is a
All
metaphor.
right, okay, Doc.
Now,
Let's
the
go
thing
with
is,
the
no-
next
Bring
door.
that out here.
No, but
Philadelphia.
No, but the thing is, we're ready. Actually,
Right.
don't do it right now because we're
Right.
ready. Day
Right.
1, we're gonna come back at you. Don't
Right.
rob this place.
Right.
So, but like when the looters looted Brown's ShopRite, the police didn't respond for what, 2 days?
Nah, they let them.
It was days later.
Right.
But that's how, if you're unvaccinated, that's how your immune system responds to COVID. 2 days late is of no use.
Right. Wow.
So you want your immune system to be aware of what COVID looks like the minute you get infected, not
Right.
5 days later.
Right.
You might be able to fight. I might be able to fight off a burglar in my house for 5 days before 911 comes.
No.
I count on when I call 911, I count on the Yaden police coming in 5 minutes, not 5 days.
But Doc, you don't gotta debate with conspiracy theorists all day long about this stuff.
No.
This is what I do. I mean, it's a lot of conspiracies out there. You know what I'm saying?
Is.
My wife told me the best conspiracy though, 'cause I was like, I didn't want to take it at first, because she's an assistant principal at a high school, so she had to be like one of the first
Yeah,
people to
take it, yeah.
And she was like, she went and took it, And I was like, man, the government, you know what I'm saying? I don't know about this. And she was like, listen, if the government really did know about it, this is it. You know what I'm saying? So you might as well take it, bro.
Well, no, but you
if they was really gonna make up something, this is it. This is what they're making up. Like they're trying to stop you from dying now. Like, you know
no,
Right.
but see, here's what I asked the
Can't
brothers. Which conspiracy you think is the one that's working? The conspiracy to convince black people to get the vaccine. So wait, who got the vaccine again? Wait, all the white people.
Right.
Okay, wait, all the rich people.
Right. I hear you, Doc.
Wait,
Go ahead.
all the scientists.
I hear it. Yup.
All
Go
the
ahead.
people that know scientists. All the doctors.
Right.
All the nurses. All the businessmen. The billionaires. Okay, they all got on the lifeboat, but you want to stay on the Titanic.
Right.
So you got to ask
In the
yourself,
gate.
when you read the conspiracy on the internet that tells you not to get the vaccine, when there's a deadly illness that is fatal, and there's the protection that all of the white people got already, you got to ask yourself, which conspiracy are you
Right.
winning?
Which one you feed?
That was another indicator.
The conspiracy is to if I wanted to get rid of black people, I would convince them not to take a vaccine
Right.
that everyone else was
Right.
protected
Go with
by.
your theory. Yeah, you right.
That might have worked though.
It did work. We
You
lost.
tell
It
them,
is-
I'm saying,
it's
you tell them,
already
like,
working.
You can't have this, nigga, everybody gonna want it. You know what I'm saying? You can tell them it's exclusive. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But that was another indicator because this is like I said, we're in Yale. This is mostly this is about 90%
Yeah,
African American.
I live in Yale.
around here. So when I seen white people coming from all over the place, they never seen white people here. They put that shot clinic up the street. It was white people everywhere.
Yep,
I was like, oh, okay.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
I still let them take the 100,000. I still
No,
let them
but-
100,000 people go.
Right.
But I said, okay, I'm gonna go up there when the line gets a little
Yeah.
shorter.
No, once they got to 1 million, I said, "Give me my dose."
Yeah.
Black people are we can get health care too. You know, I'm a doctor. Give me my shot.
Right.
Yeah, don't leave me out. All the white doctors already got. All the children's hospital doctors, they all got their shot.
Of course they did.
I'm not affiliated. I was like, "Can I get a
Right.
shot?" They're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, but really." I'm like, you know what? I see.
Right. Yeah.
No, the
though,
private
Doc.
what I
black
knew.
doctor can't get his shot from children's hospital. I
I knew
see.
it was cool. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we gotta, and I'm not trying to say that people should trust the government,
Right.
but you know the government didn't make the shot.
Right. Right.
It was pharmaceutical company made the shot.
Right.
Pfizer and Moderna made the
Right.
shot.
Same one that make your aspirin and
Yeah.
the Tylenol and everything else that you
don't know
take to
what's
put in your,
inside that.
right.
Yeah, but the thing is, but Pfizer and Moderna, the reason they want a shot that works is they want money.
Right. It makes sense.
Pfizer and Moderna, with their shot, have made billions.
Why you can't sue them later?
Oh, now all vaccines. No, now see the thing is, to make this vaccine, the reason they could make it so quick, it was a military type contract, meaning it was cost first, meaning every pharmaceutical got almost $1 billion from the when COVID first came out. So Merck, Glaxo, Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, Moderna,
Wow.
and I'm missing one, AstraZeneca. However, right, and Novavax, 7. So there were 7 companies all in the race. So like building a rocket or a spaceship when the aliens attack. 7 companies. They're like, okay, here comes the aliens. You need to, or the asteroid. You need, everybody gets $1 billion. So before, how come these vaccines hadn't been made before? It's $100 million to get a vaccine going.
Wow.
They're like, we ain't spending $100 million of our
He was
money.
doing the bucket challenge trying
Right.
to get A1C.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
How come there's no malaria vaccine? It's $100 million. They ain't putting that money up front.
Right.
But for COVID, because it was going to be a worldwide pandemic, the government was like, everyone gets $1 billion.
Wow.
Merck, their vaccine, it didn't work at all. They were like, sorry, government, we spent $1 billion, it didn't work. And they're like, no problem.
Merck was slang for killing people back in the day. They said, "I want Merck somebody." It was-
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
So I
his
heard
name.
that. I said,
That's
But-
where the
no,
name
so-
came
but-
from.
but
that's
Merck's-
like Nova. That's like
but-
Nova trying
But
to
Merck's
sell
vaccine
Right.
didn't work.
in Spain.
AstraZeneca, their vaccine is not approved in the United States because it didn't pass safety from the FDA and CDC. So the thing is, of the 7, only 3, and then we know Johnson & Johnson's vaccine is not as safe.
Yeah, they on the bubble.
It's not. It's not on the bubble. It's not as safe. It's not even slightly as safe.
Oh wow.
It's
Just
it
like
is.
I'm glad you're saying that.
It's a rush. You got Johnson & Johnson.
No, I did not.
I know
sir.
you didn't.
I got Pfizer.
No, that's because you're sitting here.
Yeah, I'm a Pfizer guy. Go
You're
ahead.
sitting here without a blood clot.
Right.
So Johnson & Johnson and AstraZeneca, almost 10 to 50 times more side effect risks. Blood clots and danger. So
People was dying off of the AstraZeneca. They
no.
hearts was
So
going up.
that's right. So and now the thing
it
is,
was in the
now
beginning.
what one of the problems with the conspiracy is what's the only vaccines available in the Caribbean, mainly AstraZeneca, the British vaccine. They can't get hold of Pfizer and Moderna.
Right. Wow.
The U.S. government bought up all the Pfizer and Moderna. When Biden was giving out free vaccines, AstraZeneca, it wasn't approved in the U.S. That's what he donated to Mexico. That's what he donated to everybody else.
Wow.
Hey, but look, we
Yo.
get money. Like we donate the money, but it's a write off some type of way.
But guess what?
we
We
getting
didn't.
some kickback from that. I don't know.
But
how
guess
we
what?
did
They
it.
didn't donate Pfizer, Moderna,
I bet he didn't.
because
Can't give out the good look.
we don't give out the good.
Right.
We don't give out.
We like his kids.
We don't give
They
out
gonna give us the good
F-22s
stuff.
to other militaries. We give the F-16s,
Right.
the old. So
Yeah.
the point is, when I say the vaccine's safe, I don't mean all the vaccines. I don't
Right.
mean the Chinese vaccine. It's not very safe at all. It's very side effect. The Russian vaccine is not very good. AstraZeneca is not as good. Johnson & Johnson is marginal, even though it made approval.
Right.
It's still 10 times more risky than Pfizer and Moderna. I'm saying, when I say get the vaccine, I only mean Pfizer and Moderna.
Wow. I'm
Because-
glad you're saying that too, Doc. Because
I'm
it's
saying
like
I mainly
you
fly.
being real though, and that's what I want. That's,
Not
all
that's the
the
most
vaccines
important
are
thing. I
safe.
mean, it might send signals to somebody who got the other one, but I'm just saying,
Johnson & Johnson.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm saying like that's good though
Drink some
because
water.
yeah, this is official, Doc. This is like this good stuff for me. Like
So yeah, so I'm not saying, I'm saying, and then the other thing I'm saying is, even if you got the vaccine, you still should get a booster if you're older than 40.
right.
If you're young, those 2 shots are probably good enough.
Wow.
And then because your immune system is so young and strong that two drills and it's really up to speed.
43.
No, you should get the booster.
Hey, Kai, he said 40,
43,
bro.
you might as well be 90.
4-0, bro.
Closer to 40 than Michael Jordan.
When I said 40, I really meant 25.
Right. Okay. Yeah, Doc. Let's keep it real.
So yeah, you should not. And then the other thing you need is a primary care doctor to help you navigate, because you also, even if you got the vaccine and your booster, if you catch COVID now, you'll catch Omicron. You might need to get your Paxlovid, which is the COVID fighting pill.
Wow.
So when you catch COVID now, even if you're vaccinated, you could have a breakthrough case. You don't know how strong you are. So your doctor may be like, no, you're 60 or you have diabetes. You should get your Paxlovid. Remember Trump? Trump was gonna die.
Yeah.
Without he got that remdesivir.
Remdesivir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna buy that if I got it. I'll tell you, they was charging $3,000. They was charging like $3,000 when they.
You wasn't gonna get no real remdesivir.
At one point, they were charging $3,000.
No, but you wasn't gonna get no real remdesivir when you bought it.
Getting bootleg.
You get bootleg, it wouldn't have been real.
Where was they selling the real ones at?
They wasn't selling it. You had to be at Penn.
That's where I was gonna go.
Oh no, you could have got it if you had gone to Penn, right?
One of my
Okay.
customers, he work at Penn.
That's
He was
right.
Oh
like-
yeah.
No,
see.
He was
right.
like, man, it's
Oh,
like,
Kyle got next. You got
he was
connects,
like, man,
bro.
it's like a whole drug deal. He's like, they'll come in, they'll say, do you want it? They was like, no.
It wasn't about
Give
so,
them
and
some
that's
other stuff.
the problem is that you need access
Yeah.
to the best information, because it may not be, your 2 shots may not be enough for you. You might need to start your remdesivir, and you need to do your rapid test to find out. Like when you have a little cold and you have a fever, do your rapid COVID,
Right. Right.
because the vaccine is not the only defense. Because when COVID changes, we might need to take. We now have these antiviral pills, like they have to fight HIV. We don't have a vaccine against it, but we
Right.
got pills you can
Oh,
take and
yeah.
you don't die.
Right.
For the flu, if you don't get your flu shot, we have flu pills you can take. We
Right.
have COVID pills now.
Wow.
But one of the best defenses is washing your hands.
We're not catching it, right? Because you don't catch it when you do
Right.
that.
We tell people.
Right.
But
he mean
you know,
just the
you really
sanitation part of it.
if you it's mainly respiratory. So you
The
need
mask.
now a surgical mask is not good enough against Omicron. You need the N95, which is the duck one.
Oh, that's what
This
Doc
one.
was.
Hey, John, you got.
Yeah.
No.
That-
You don't need the N95.
That's the Doc in the back.
That's
So
that
so
thick
the-
one.
So the ones that we get, the blue ones.
It's
they-
the surgical mask. It now
can't
with
stand 'em.
if you've already had your vaccines and stuff, the surgical mask ain't giving you that much protection.
Right.
If you're gonna use a mask because you really don't want to catch it again or you don't want to catch it the first time, then you should use the KN95. That's the one that's the quack like a duck that you put on this
Oh
way.
yeah.
You don't need to use the N95. That's the thick one that you put in on over your head
Yeah.
like this, and it's thick like a.
I hate them.
No, but those are hard to breathe through. We
Right.
use those in the operating room and stuff.
Feel like
in
scuba
when we're
diving,
on
man.
when we're in full protection in the white suit.
Right.
But those are exhausting.
They mess your hair up.
They mess everything. They're really exhausting. So you can't if
If
you
you have
have
band around your head that go bald.
so it's not the N95. It's this
Right.
other one, the KN95. It's that
Okay.
one that has the little fold. And I'm not saying you need to wear a mask all the time, but when you get on the Frontier Airlines flight,
Right. You
the
get on
flight
flights.
to Orlando,
Spirit.
to
wear a
Vegas,
mask.
Spirit Air to
He
Vegas,
said spirit.
Two masks.
wear your mask on. Yeah, when
Yeah.
you
Masks. 'Cause they ain't got no health care.
when you going down south where they ain't going, everybody don't wear nothing. Wear your mask. You don't have to wear it all the time.
Right. But at certain times you should have it on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is great for me, Doc. I'm getting some good stuff, man. But this it's coming to a head. I just had one more question though. I'm gonna come at Kyle first. I just wanna know, Kyle, like you first of all, you already caught the vibe on what you should have did for your family, you know, getting the vaccination. You already was on board. Like you said, most of the circle that you was involved with, they pretty much already, you know, y'all was all on the same boat.
Yeah.
For the folks that's not, you know what I'm talking about? Now, we talking about a year later, bro. Like, you
Right.
had it for a while. I had it for a while. We ain't just winging it, and we ain't just joining a new team. We been on the team for a year, bro.
Right.
So what I'm saying is, what would you tell these brothers to get on board? Because we got the clinic this Saturday. So the clinic's this Saturday. We giving out free shots and boosters right here, bro. We trying to help the community and get back. What would you say to the brothers that's not vaccinated?
So, all right, you could. It's two ways it can go. So like if all right, say the vaccine don't really work. You don't gotta get it. You know what I'm saying? And I just got a vaccine for nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm still alive. But say the vaccine, you really do need a vaccine.
Right.
You did. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it can go two different ways. Like either you might not need it, you know what I'm saying,
Right.
or
Right.
but it's either it's one of what they call it, safe than sorry. You know
Right,
what I'm
right.
saying? One of
Okay.
those things.
I'm giving you that.
I'd rather be safe than sorry. 'Cause I know I lived a year about a year now with the vaccine.
Yeah, me
so
too.
I mean,
Me too.
knock on wood, I ain't die. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, but I know a lot of people. I mean, like I said, it's one of them things that every year I would get it once. I would get it like on a yearly basis.
Okay.
Until it going away. But I think that I don't see it. It ain't gonna kill you for sure.
Right.
But it can kill you.
Right.
If you don't get it. So
Right. See, my biggest fear was, I know we like kind of get short for time, but my biggest fear was we basically don't go to the doctors and stuff anyway, right? So I'm just talking about like a certain circle of brothers, right? So we don't go, right? So now by us not going, it already could be something wrong. So we don't find that out, and then we get COVID on top of already not being healthy. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, that's where's the problem for me. That's why this movement right here is big, because it's about our health. It's not just fighting that disease. It's just changing our mentality that we need to do stuff against this stuff, man. We got to do something against the disease. So it's just that's the main thing for me. You know, like again, there's going to be some brothers that's not, but I know I'm living proof that it worked. Like nothing else happened to me yet, thank God. And brothers like you know, it's important. The doc, it's just important for us to get the message to brothers that, you know, that's not vaccinated.
Now, you know my message to brothers is I don't say go get the vaccine. I say go talk in person and get yourself a doctor
Right.
or a pharmacist that you can talk to in person.
Nice.
Here's the example. I ain't been to Houston. Houston seems scary to me. Them Southern brothers, it's like Louisiana, but they seem it's in Texas. So I'm like,
Right.
I like Louisiana, them brothers, but I don't think I would want to meet Louisiana brothers from Texas. So I ain't been to Houston, right? I don't know that much about Houston. I'm not sure if it's safe. I don't really trust going to Houston. I don't really trust that I can navigate Houston. But you know what I should do? Get on the internet. That's going to tell me all about Houston, right? That ain't no way to figure out about Houston. I need to say, hey, Kyle, hey, you know a barber in Houston?
I do.
I know you do. Barbers always know another barber in Houston. When I send a patient to Atlanta, I say, look, you need to go find this doctor at this place in Atlanta. I'm not going to send them information. I'm sending them to someone I know. When I change churches, I ask my pastor, hey, which Baptist minister can I talk to in Georgia or in Texas?
Right.
So what I'm saying is, of course you can't, for a new medical treatment that is pulled out from nowhere, if you don't have access to a professional in that arena that you trust, how could you make that decision safely?
Right.
You have to be able to say, hey, look, I don't know Dr. King. Let me go meet him. And so either you believe me in person. I don't know how I look on the internet. I think I probably look corny. But in person, I'm legit.
Right.
So the question is, who do you know in science? Who do you know in medicine? Guess what? There's black doctors. There's black pharmacists. Dr. Motley is a black pharmacist. I'm a black doctor. BlackDoctorsPhiladelphia.com. You know, we are out there. We want the business, but we also want to develop the relationship.
Right. Educate.
So we can say, hey man, not only get your COVID shot, you know, also get your meningitis shot.
Right.
Get your pneumonia shot.
Right.
Get your colonoscopy.
Right.
You know, it's not just COVID. We want to be able to protect these other things about health. It's about trust. And that's why black people were at a disadvantage, because the fact is, when you go down to Penn, those doctors who kind of don't have the cultural awareness, they don't seem to care because they don't know you.
Right.
So I know the white folks, that was their doctors. Fauci they know people. Their uncle looked like Fauci.
They sure do.
So it was easier to believe him. It's harder without that direct connection. So I tell people, don't use the internet. I don't use the internet to navigate a new city. I would never do that. When people say, "Oh, Oakland ain't safe," I read it on the internet. What you know about Oakland? You need to be able to give me a person that knows Oakland. So the same thing with science. You need to find a doctor who can break it down for you, so you feel comfortable.
Right.
That's a good point.
Yeah. I mean, Doc, listen, this was great. This was a great segment. This first of many series throughout the barbershops. Before we go, I just want to announce our COVID-19 clinic. It's this Saturday right here at the lineup with my man Kyle, 125 Chester Avenue, Yale, PA, between 12 and 2. So, you know, if you're not vaccinated or if you need to be boosted, we'll be right here giving out free shots and Band-Aids.
12 to 2?
All that, Doc.
I can come 12 to 2. I got to go fishing. There's some
Okay.
Darby Creek got a fishing. They're stocking.
Oh, nice.
So.
Okay, that's nice. That's nice.
You don't eat the fish, do you?
I ain't eating them yet. I ain't met.
I don't know.
Darby Creek seem a little
and
shaky. It seemed a little shaky. It seemed do look a little. But I can catch them though.
You might have a band-aid. Fish might have a Band-Aid on.
You can, but I can be there 12. I can be there 12 to 2 though.
All right, y'all. So we're gonna wind it up. I'm just getting one more. I had one more announcement with the coalition. We got a unit. We got a march coming up, and I just want to get the correct information. Hold on, y'all. So it's a peace walk. and it's June 4th. It's at 9th and Curling at 10 a.m. and we walking to Memorial Park. It's free stuff going on, man. We just trying to change the culture. We just trying to rebrand and rebuild. There's nothing to get tired about. There's nothing to say it's the same thing. This is a real movement. So just jump on board. Even with us, what we're doing right now, it's just a new movement. So we've been stuck for so long. It's time we gotta unstuck ourselves, man. It's time to let stuff go. So we trying to change the movement, change the brand of our community. They dogging us and they winning and they beating us. So it's time for us to step up. We can easily win is nothing. But we gotta come together. We got educated brothers on the panel. Anytime you have a question, like you said, instead of going to the internet, you go to somebody who's a professional of the same color. So we keeping it moving. Again, we're gonna do our peace walk. That's June 4th. And the peace walk is not just for Chester, it's for all our communities. So this is just the beginning of what we're trying to do and rebrand and take over our cities. That's what we want to do. Okay, I'm being reminded to do something. Okay. And we also have our COVID 100, Keeping It 100 show every Wednesday. That's between me and Doc at 12:15 and 12:45. I believe that's it, guys. It's been great. Thank you. This is big to me, man, because, brothers, we don't talk. This is our therapy sessions, though. So,
Right.
And I appreciate you, Kyle, for what you're doing in the community, man. I appreciate you for letting us hold this thing here, bro.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
We owe you a check. We owe the rent money. But thank you, everybody, and peace out, Pete. Thank you very much. Have a good night.